or stones, okay, broken stones or gravel. And I think the function is that it helps with water. It helps you anything when you're doing construction, right? Water is a very big factor. Water can help your structure, or water can be against your structure. It just depends on what you are doing. So now, what this does is this hardcore. Number one, of course, it makes the entire foundation upon which this thing is resting on to be harder because you have soil, then you have hardcore. Rocks are very strong. Okay, they can form a very good a very good base, a very good surface. Sorry for every structures to be on. But at the same time, it helps with water. Now you know that if the ground is wet, soil has a way of taking water up the ground, right? It takes water up in an upward direction. So soil can take the water up, but one thing about gravel or small stones is that it is very difficult for water to travel up. Okay, and if water is coming even from it is going down, let's say it rains, right, and water is coming from the surface down, it's easy for the water to pass through the rocks. But something with soil is that soil is to retain water, so that is the function of the hardcore. So yeah, now you can also see that both the hardcore and the soil have their dimensions. Hardcore and soil have their dimensions. Okay, you can see here 300 millimeter is for the soil, 300 millimeter. If you're using your tape, just let's say 30. Okay, 30 centimeter or 300 millimeter, anyone. Then after that, the next layer you have here is called blinding. This part here is called blinding. And blinding is concrete. And remember, concrete is made up of cement, stone dust, water, gravel, and okay, that's it. Yes, cement, stone dust, gravel, cement, stone dust, and then gravel. Right, that's what you have for concrete. So basically, now this is a concrete layer. You can see that the concrete layer is 75 mm. They call it blinding. So what's the purpose of blinding? So number one, now when you put rocks on when you put rocks, okay, now because each rock does not have the same size, or the gravel doesn't have exactly the same size, the floor, this surface, number one, is not going to be perfectly straight. Okay, it may be straight, but it's gonna be a little bit like this, a little bit rough. Now, one of the function of blinding, number one, is to give you that flat surface. Okay, is to first give you that flat surface. That's one. Two, once you put your blinding on top of your blinding, right? This we're going to look at that reinforcement. After we're going to look at reinforcement later. So we know that we put the reinforcement on the blinding. So concrete has reinforcements. Okay. When you're putting something heavy like a 10-meter steel pipe on concrete alone, concrete cracks. So you need reinforcement so that the concrete doesn't crack. Okay, reinforcement makes the concrete stronger so it doesn't crack. So that reinforcement now, once you put your blinding, so it gives your reinforcement a flat surface to be on. Another thing it helps is that it helps preventing dirt or mud from the hardcore from touching your reinforcement. Remember, reinforcement is iron and iron rust. Okay, if you expose iron anywhere, it used to rust. So that's the advantage of the blinding. Next step, I have to clean all of this. So the next layer here we have